So does that justify everything that you do?
Excuse me, let me tell you something. What do you think they were doing it for? Because they were trying to save us from poverty? No, they did it because they needed us. It's honor and family and loyalty. And some of us wanted a piece of the action. Now, we weren't educated like the Americans, but we had the balls to take what we wanted.
Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to another live edition of On the Go right here on Driving to the Top Productions. Hope everyone is enjoying your new year 2026, where tomorrow will be in a full week. How's your first full week been? I know it's been good for me, and it's going to get better. 2026 is going to be a party. What's up, everybody? Hope you're enjoying this on this hump day, January 7th, 2026. Oh, it's Mardi Gras season down here in Louisiana. Ooh, it's going to be a party.
Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper, underground methods. Top-notch hoes, get the most, not the little.
Ooh, it's party time. Get back.
Get back. Get back.
What's up, everybody? I'm Hoss. You can find me at Big Hoss337. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. My show On The Go you can find on X and Instagram at onthego_TXLA. And Driving to the Top Productions, you know where to find them. Subscribe to them on YouTube. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and whatnot. And you know what to do. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Save the best for last. Of course, this show is presented by Poggers, the official vitamin supplement of On The Go, and by Rogue Energy, the official gaming drink of On The Go. Pick your poison, whether if it's poggers.shop or rogueenergy.com, or download the app on any mobile device. There's that promo code right there, OTG, to get 10% off of your order. Tell them Big Hoss sent you. I wish Frost Buddy would sponsor me because I am obsessed with this damn thing right here. Let me get ready for this, and then we got a show for you. There we go. Cheers, folks. Keeps your shit cold for 12 hours. I like that. Frost Buddy, hit me up. Well, let's get things rolling for this first solo show of the new year, by the way. Second one of 2026, but my first solo show. We're not going to waste any time. Let's just kick this off in H-Town, shall we? A lot of positive from the start. So let's get to it. 713, let's go. Welcome to the land where it just don't stop. Trunks pop, tops drops, and the front end hops. H-Town, I love you to death. And where do I want to start with you guys? You know what? I know what I want to start with, because it won't be long before this special time of the year comes. I haven't been keeping up with trades or whatnot, but here's my first edition of Astros Talk for 2026, and I got a good one here. I'll bring up one name that was huge that the Astros signed earlier this week. A Japanese sensation by the name of Tetsuya Imai. He's with the Houston Astros. He will be a pitcher. And the tape I saw on this guy, this dude is a sensation. And he's not only happy to be in MLB, but he's happy to be with Houston. And we welcomed him with open arms. The ovation he got at the Texans game against the Colts, throwing the H's up, getting his number 45 jersey. He signed a 3-year contract for $54 million. This guy, a former gold medalist, 3-time MVP All-Star. He pitched a combined no-hitter last year in April. His ERA is 3.15. 907 strikeouts in Japan. This guy's going to be a star with the Astros, future Hall of Famer, the future great, and I can't wait to see him on the mound with Framber Valdez and the other pitching rotation. I'm excited to have Imai, and he's happy to be in Houston. He loves Houston. He took it all in when he went into Dyken Park for the first time. I cannot wait to see this guy. He played in the NBP, the Nippon Professional Baseball League up down there in Japan. He was with I don't know what you want to call a Cebu Lion, but he played for Saitama, which is just outside of Tokyo. I'm excited to say this. He's 5'11", 176 pounds, right-handed pitcher. He throws a fastball sitting around 95 miles per hour with the tops out at 99 miles per hour. And above average, he's a mid-80s slider and a changeup. Like, I'm excited to see this guy. I'm enjoying basketball season right now and all that, but, man, I cannot wait for baseball, especially to turn this team around with a guy like Tetsuya Imai. Call Miyamoto up. Let's have the big three in Japan, them two, and Shohei Ohtani. It's going to be a game changer when we get all three of them in the pros. Despite, Ohtani on another level, got 2 rings already with the Dodgers. I definitely see Imai as a future champion, and I know he's going to bring the Astros back in that title picture. So that's my little quick, awesome rant I wanted to give on my first edition of Astros Talk, welcoming Tetsuya Imai to the Astros. I'm looking forward to see what he's going to do. I know don't know when he's going to start yet. I don't know if they're going to actually start him on opening day. But start counting down. I think it's March 26th is opening day, and the Astros are going to open up with the Angels in a 4-game series, March 26th through the 29th. So he'll be a star. He'll be pitching on one of them days. Him and Framber Valdez, Christian Javier, all them. We'll talk more about that when we get to it. But, man, let's get to some more current talk today, shall we? Let's start with the Houston Texans. Texans, we are new in the playoffs, but they finished strong. They got the win over the Indianapolis Colts, 38-30. They swept Indianapolis. So now the Texans finished their regular season, 12 wins and 5 losses, but they were runner-ups in the AFC South. Okay. Nothing to say there. I mean, I had a feeling that Jacksonville was going to run them down. Just not. But anyhow, they're in the playoffs. We'll talk more about that in a bit. But let's recap some numbers in this game against the Colts last Sunday. 339 total yards, 205 passing, 134 total rushing. C.J. Stroud went 14 for 23, 169 passing yards, 1 touchdown pass to Jaden Higgins for 11 yards. Also, David Mills got some snaps in. He went 3 for 9, 36 yards in passing. British Brooks led in rushing in this game, 13 carries for 63 yards, while Woody Marks had 10 carries for 48 yards. Davis Mills had 1 for 12, and C.J. Stroud had a rushing touchdown himself. He had 2 carries for 5 yards with a rushing touchdown. On the receiving end, Xavier Hutchinson led in receiving, 5 catches for 84 yards. Dalton Schultz had 4 catches for 73 yards, including an insane one-handed catch. Jaden Higgins, 2 catches for 23 yards and a touchdown. While that defense, 71 total tackles, 36 solo, 1 sack courtesy of Daniel Hunter, 6 tackles for a loss, even a scoop and score on the last play of the game to end the regular season, courtesy of Tommy Togai for 17 yards. That was awesome. That was awesome. And it's not over yet because they're in the playoffs and they got to go to Pittsburgh. Well, what I could say about that before we get to those predictions, this is going to be their 9th total meeting. First ever in the playoffs. Last time the Texans beat the Steelers was back in 2023. But key factor about the Texans in the playoffs, this is actually going to be their first playoff game where they're not opening on a Saturday. They're actually closing out wild card on a Monday night. And this could be a historic win for them because the Texans have never won a playoff game on the road. So they've been a team since 2002. So it's been about 20 plus years going on 24 years. Imagine how big that would be. Remember how big it was when the Saints got their first playoff win back in 2000. We'll predict more about that in a bit. But, of course, I'm going to ride with the Houston Texans to move on. That would be great if they could advance and get their first playoff win on the road. One more thing I'm going to talk about Texans. They did it with everybody. They have already announced their 2026. Every NFL team has got their 2026 opponents announced. The dates have not yet been announced, which usually it's around the NFL draft. Around April, they'll have the fully schedule, or early May. So here is what's you're going to see in store for the Houston Texans in 2026. Of course, you got your division rivals, the Colts, the Titans, and the Jags. They're going to play them twice. This year, they're going to play the AFC North. So that means they're going to play the Ravens, the Steelers, the Browns, and the Bengals. And they're also going to play the NFC East, Giants, Eagles, Commanders, and the Giants. Actually had, which ones are going to be at home and whatnot. Let me pull that back up. I should have pulled it up on Instagram. Instagram would have had it right for me. Let's see. Shit. Well, I thought they had it. Let's see. Right. Oh, here we go. All right. So, like I said, AFC North, NFC East, but at home, they're going to have the Ravens and the Bengals, plus the Cowboys and the Giants. In an outer conference opponent, they're going to have a home game with the Buffalo Bills from the AFC East. While on the road, they're going to go to Cleveland to play the Browns. They're going to go to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers, just like they're going to be in the playoffs. They're also going to play the Eagles in Philly and the Commanders in D.C. And outer conference opponents, they got 2 on the road. They're going to go back to Lambeau and play the Packers. And they're going to head back to L.A. to play the Chargers. So it'll be 2 years in a row. They're going to play the Chargers in L.A. The Packers, they didn't play them this year, but I think it was about a year ago. I remember they went to Lambeau and played the Packers, and now they're going back to Lambeau. So that is the Texans' 2026 opponents, AFC North, NFC East. Plus you add the Bills, the Chargers, and the Packers to that schedule. And then your double headers with Colts. That's a doubleheader. Your double meetings with Colts, Titans, and the Jaguars. I'm going to do the Saints one when we get to there. But we're going to keep this talk in Houston. You already know the settlement with the Texans. But let's go ahead and talk some Houston Cougar basketball, shall we? Because this is what I call the red alert. Oh, yeah. I was supposed to play the video right there. So that was on my end. Let me rephrase that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the red alert.
Go Cougs, this is a red alert.
It's all about the Cougars. It's all about the Cougars.
That's a lot better, Shelly. Now, this is your red alert. Since last show, Cougars have played 2 games, and everyone's in conference play. And right now, the Houston Cougars, 14-1 of the season, 2-0, undefeated in the Big 12. And it all started on Saturday. Both games were actually at home at Fertitta. They played 2 banger home games, 2 close ones that damn near gave me a heart attack. But on Saturday, they got the victory over the Cincinnati Bearcats, 67-60, to get them their first win in conference play. A couple of leaders in this game. Kingston Flemings led in this game with 19 points, plus he was 7 for 18 in field goals, 3 for 5 in free throw shooting, 6 assists, 1 turnover, and 3 rebounds. He actually led in assists in that game, but Chris Sanok Jr. led in rebounds with 8. He also finished the night with 4 points. And Milos Uzan, big star himself, 18 points in that game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 turnovers. Big win. Battle of the black and red, both of these teams. Well, actually, correction. This game was in Cincinnati, by the way. This was not a home game, but they will play Cincinnati at home at the end of the month, and hopefully I'll be there for that. Depends how work goes. But no, correction. This game was in Cincinnati. It wasn't a home game. But Texas Tech, another battle of the black and red, and this was an in-state rivalry. They did play this one at Fertitta. They played it last night. Top 15 matchup. It was number 7 versus number 14. They beat the Red Raiders. They wrecked the Raiders 69-65. So you can kind of say 2026 has not been a good start for Texas Tech. They got shut out in their playoff game with Oregon. And then a few days later, their basketball team took, I think that was their first loss of the season, or I know their first conference loss, and they lost to Houston. 69-65 was the final score in that one. Another night, big night for Kingston Flemings, the freshman. He led with 23 points in that game. Plus, he led in assists with 5. So that's 2 games in a row. He led with points and assists. He also had ended the night with 2 turnovers and 3 rebounds. Chris Sinnock Jr., once again, second game in a row, leading in rebounds with 11. He also had 11 points. Emmanuel Sharp, 17 points, and Joseph Tugler, 11 points and 10 rebounds. Great start, and hopefully they can keep this momentum going. What's next for the Cougars till next show? Well, 2 more conference games coming, and another road game on a Saturday, but not too far. They go to Waco to take on Baylor. Noon tip-off. You can watch on NBCS Center Peacock. Baylor's 10-4, unranked. Houston's 14-1, ranked number 7 in the country. Another rivalry game here. It's going to be a good one, so don't count Baylor out. We know Baylor's good history with basketball. And then they'll be back at home on Tuesday, January 13th. They welcome West Virginia, who's 10-5. That'll be a 7:30 start time on FS1. So don't count West Virginia out either. It's going to be 2 big games I'm looking forward to watching. That Baylor game is going to be fun. Well, they both will be, but hopefully they can keep this momentum going, win another Big 12 title, get another deep playoff run, and maybe another Natty appearance in the Final Four. So that is your red alert for the Houston Cougars. But we're going to keep this party rolling. We've got one more thing to close out for H-Town before we take it to the boot. Let's go ahead and talk the Houston Rockets while they're currently playing right now. It's time to light the fuse.
Light it up, light it up, light it up, light the fuse, light it up, light it up.
Taking off like a rocket.
Light it up, light it up, light it up, light the fuse, light it up, light it up, light it up.
Taking off like a rocket.
All right, now let's do your Houston Rockets talk. It's time to light the fuse, and the fuse has been lighting and blowing up. The Houston Rockets have actually been winning again since 2026. I think so far since the year started, they've won 2 out of 3 since the year started. But hey, they're winning games. They actually played on New Year's Day. They kicked off 2026 with a win on the road against the Brooklyn Nets, beating them 120-96. In this game, Amin Thompson led in this game in points with 23, 10 for 12 in field goals, 1 free throw shot complete. He also had 4 rebounds and 3 assists, but Tyree Eason, the former LSU Tiger, led in rebounds with 9. He also ended with 15 points, a turnover, a steal, and a block. Kevin Durant led in this game with assists with 11, with 6 turnovers, 22 points, and 5 rebounds. And, well, before he got injured, Şengün, this was the last game we saw Şengün play before his injury. We hope to see him back soon. 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 turnover, 2 steals, and 1 block. Now, this past Saturday, they went to Dallas to play the Mavericks, a game they should have won, but they fell short. They fall to the Mavericks 110-104. But KD led in this game, 34 points, 14 for 26 in field goals, 4 for 5 in free throw shooting, 7 assists, 2 turnovers, and 5 rebounds. He led an assist in this game as well. But Amin Thompson led in rebounds with 12. Plus, he had 20 points, 4 assists, 2 turnovers, 3 steals, and a block. And Tyree Eason had 19 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, and 2 steals. And then recent game, this past Monday, they were back at Toyota. They hosted the Phoenix Suns. Ended with Kevin Durant calling the game with that buzzer beater, beating the Phoenix Suns, beating his former team 197. That puts the Rockets currently 22-11 as of right now. 22-11. But standing-wise, in the Western Conference, they're 5th in the West in the conference. They are 6th overall in the league, and in their division, in the Southwest, they're 2nd, right behind the San Antonio Spurs. So they're winning right now. In this game, Kevin Durant against his former team, he led with 26 points, 9 for 21 in field goals. It's perfect 6 for 6 in free throw shooting. Steven Adams led in rebounds with 11, plus he ended the night with 17 points, 3 assists. Amin Thompson led in assists with 6, with 3 turnovers, 17 points and 7 rebounds. And just for hell of it, Tari Eason, 12 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists against the Phoenix Suns. They're in a commercial break right now, but the Rockets are currently playing the Trailblazers. They are trailing 14-11 right now with 8:05 to go in the first. Most likely, I will not have a final update on this game, but they're going to be playing back-to-back games in Portland. So possibly I will bring it up because they're going to play Portland again on Friday, January 9th in Portland. Then they go to Sacramento on Sunday to play the Kings. Then after their West Coast trip, they're back at Toyota on Tuesday, January 13th. They host the Chicago Bulls. So 4 games to look back at against 3 different teams, but they keep on winning, man. Hopefully they can get back on top. I know San Antonio's hot right now. Victor and company. It's going to be a toss-up with them too, but don't count out the Dallas Mavericks either. One of them 3 Texas teams is going to win that division. Hopefully it'll be the Rockets. But hopefully I'll get another update later on the Rockets. But let's go ahead and take it to the boot. Let's go to the 337. Let's talk some McNeese basketball because it's the Bayou Bandit duel following your introduction to the 337. Let's go. Oh, McNeese basketball, I'm going to tell you, is they're reloading. After losing Will Wade to NC State and then their star player going to the NBA and Christian Shoemate, McNeese basketball is reloading right now because this is the Bayou Bandit duel, your McNeese basketball talk. Since that one conference loss back at the beginning against the Incarnate Word, they have been rolling. In 2026, they're rolling. They kicked off the new year on national television at home at TLA. They played the Battle of the Border with Lamar, a team they beat in football to get that trophy back to Lake Charles. And now they've won 7 in a row on the hardwood against the Cardinals. They played 82-70 in front of a record crowd at Townsville Arena. I know over 4,000 people sold the arena out. And millions watched it around the country, around the world on CBSSN. McNeese got it done 82-70, baby. Go Pokes. And it all started with the former Creighton Blue Jay himself. Larry Johnson led in this game with 19 points. He went 7 for 12 in field goals. Perfect 4 for 4 in free throw shooting and 5 rebounds. But Carl Scherenfant led with 8 rebounds, 6 points, 2 assists, 1 turnover, and 2 steals. Garway Dual led assists with 4, plus a turnover and 11 points. And Tyshawn Archie, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and a turnover. Great game. I was glad I was able to watch this one. Unfortunately, their last game with Stephen F. Austin on Monday, did not get to watch a single play of it, but, man, I missed a hell of a game. They said this was probably their best performance all season, but they got the win over the Lumberjacks. They beat them 66-64. So if you were at the game that night, what did I miss? Was it a buzzer beater? Was this a back and forth matchup? They said this was the game of the season for McNeese. What did I miss? I should have been there for that, but I'm supporting family and my community, Lake Arthur basketball, go Tigers, Lady Tigers. But Larry Johnson, again, leading in this game with 18 points. He was 7 for 21 in field goals, 3 for 4 in free throw shooting, and 8 rebounds. Garway Dual led in assists with 4 and a turnover, 3 points and 5 rebounds. And Tyshawn Archie ended that night with 16 points. So McNeese is rolling. And for their next 2 games, well, they're going to be, 1, 2. Yeah, their first 4 games of the year are at home. We got 2 more to go this Saturday. They're back at home hosting another rival, Southeastern Louisiana, 4 p.m. tip-off. If you can't make it to the game, you can watch it on ESPN+. It's time for me to get to Townsley Law. I haven't been to a McNeese basketball game yet this season. I'm guaranteed to be at 3, and this will be one of them. So if you see me, come say hello. I'm a nice guy. Everybody knows that. I'm looking forward to go cheer on the Pokes. I'm going to have this exact shirt on. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be like. It's supposed to be cold this weekend. Might be in some sweats. But I'll have this exact shirt on if you want to find me. I might wear the Play Boosie hat. I don't know. I'm going to wear something on this head. Southeastern at home Saturday on the 10th, and then Monday on January 12th, they're back at home hosting Nichols. 6:30 tip-off on ESPN Plus, if you can make that one. You know what? If we don't have no basketball games Monday night, I might even consider going to this one too. I've watched them play Nichols quite often. It's a fun little rivalry to watch. But future reference, if you want to catch me again, I plan on going watch them play against New Orleans on January 24th. Hopefully to see Master P, because you know Master P got ownership with the University of New Orleans. And in February when they host Texas A&M Corpus, that's one I got circled on the calendar. That's going to be one of their biggest conference matchups later in the season. So, and I was planning on going to Beaumont for the Lamar matchup, the second one, but you know what? I'm hopefully to be in Houston that weekend. So if I don't have to work January 31st, I should have said this on the H-Town talk, but I plan on being in Houston for I like to call a doubleheader, Houston versus Cincinnati in the morning, and then at night go to Toyota for Rockets and the Mavs. Like that's something I'm hoping to attend. I feel like that's going to be my last chance to try and attend a Cougars game. That's going to be an affordable price because the game I wanted to go to is that team is now the number 1 team in the country, and it's going to be the hardest game to get and one of the most expensive to get. So I'll be more comfortable watching Houston, Arizona at my house where I don't have to spend a dime. But this Saturday, probably the most I'm going to spend is $20. I will be at Townsley Law for McNeese versus Southeastern. I can't wait. Go Pokes. But we're going to keep the McNeese talk rolling because talking about the Saints and the Texans 2026 opponents, this dropped yesterday. Matter of fact, the entire Southland Conference dropped their 2026 football schedule. So this is going to be my second schedule reveal for a football team. I did LSU's a month ago, but now let's go ahead and review the 2026 McNeese Cowboy football schedule. Let's see what they can do here. What I'm looking at, 12 games, 6 home, 5 road games. And we ain't going to have to wait long because McNeese is going to have a week 0 matchup at the Hole. Woo! You can catch me there for that. And it's a conference game. McNeese is opening up the 2026 season week 0 at the Hole, Navarre Stadium against Stephen F. Austin. Woo! Get back!
Get back!
Get back!
Hell of a game right there. Week 1. Well, first 3 games of the season are at the Hole. Week 1, they host Texas Wesleyan. So they're hosting like a Division II school. But I won't be there that weekend. Most likely I will be I'm hoping to be at Death Tiger Stadium for LSU Clemson. Week 2, September 12th, they're hosting Tarleton State, a team that had a deep run in the FCS playoffs, made it to the quarterfinals. I'll definitely be there for that. The LSU will have Louisiana Tech that weekend, but yeah, I'll be back at the Hole for that. So 2 games at the Hole out of 3 I'll be at. First road game of the season will be week 3, September 19th. They go down to the border in Edinburgh, Texas to play UT Rio Grande Valley. The game I was at earlier this year, McNeese's final home game, I went to that game. UT Rio Grande Valley is a very good football team. Not bad for their first year. Their second year, they're gonna come a swinging. Week 4, they're back at home, September 26th. They're gonna host East Texas A&M. I don't know who LSU got a home game there that night. I don't remember. But speaking of LSU, week 5, October 3rd, McNeese is going back to Tiger Stadium for the first time since I think it was 5 years. It was either 21 or 22. I think it was in 21. LSU played McNeese in Tiger Stadium. I'm gonna go. I think it was. Oh, it was in 2021. That was the last time they played on 9/11 in 2021. LSU beat them. I think it was like 41-7. So yeah, first time in 5 years. McNeese is coming back to Death Valley. I will 100% be there for that, but I'll be rooting for LSU. Sorry, we already know how that's going to go down. So that is week 5. Week 6, they go to Natchitoches to play Northwestern State. Week 7. Is that week 7? Week 7, they go to San Antonio to play Incarnate Word. All right, correction. Let me fix this real quick. They have a bye week, so the Northwestern State game is week 7. So LSU's October 3rd. So that makes October 10th would be a Saturday. They don't have a game on October 10th. So week 6 is their bye week. So you got a bye week in the middle of the season. Week 7, they go to Natchitoches to play Northwestern State. Then week 8, October 24th, they go to San Antonio to play Incarnate Word. Week 9, Halloween night. This could be another game I could attend. They're hosting Nichols. Now, we don't know which one's their homecoming game. But if I had to take a wild guess, I would not be surprised if this will be their homecoming matchup. They usually do homecoming in October, and that's their only home game in the month of October. Because after East Texas A&M, they got 3 straight road games. LSU, a bye week, then Northwestern, then Incarnate Word. I'm calling it right now. McNeese's homecoming game is going to be Halloween night against Nichols. Because after that, they got 3 games left. Their next 2 games are on the road. November 7th, they go to Houston Christian. November 14th, they go to Southeastern. And then they close out the regular season at home November 21st against Lamar, the Battle of the Border. Well, this is going to be the most McNeese football I've seen since 2019. Because I plan on including that LSU road game. I'm at least going to be at maybe 4 McNeese games this year. Stephen F. Austin, Tarleton State, LSU, and Nichols for sure. September 26th against East Texas A&M. I guess it depends who LSU. If LSU's at home or on the road. I don't remember. I just know the night they go to UT Rio Grande Valley, that's when they go to Ole Miss. And, I'm going to be at home glued to that. Oh, they'll be at home against Texas A&M. Oh, wow, they're both playing Texas A&M teams. Except they're playing the real A&M team. All right. Well, we'll see how that goes. But most likely I won't be at that East Texas A&M matchup if they're playing A&M that night. Speaking of LSU, let's go ahead. This is all the talk I got for the 337. Let's go ahead and take it to the 225 and talk LSU in Tigerland. Let's go. I love this. Tell you what I don't love right now. It involves LSU. I'm going to just go ahead and get it out the way because it's time for another edition of the PMAX show, folks. I'll tell you what. I don't know what's up with both of these teams right now, but they got to get something done. These two have finally decided to go in conference play, and they can't even win an SEC matchup. Let's start with Kim Mulkey's Tigers first and get this over with. And I had a freaking feeling this was coming, and I didn't see it. With all those teams they've been playing, all the HBCU schools, all the small Division II schools, junior colleges they've been playing, scoring triple-digit points in like 9 games, and everyone's like, oh, but they're not playing nobody. I get why they're talking shit. They finally go into SEC play, and they can't even win an SEC matchup. And it all started on New Year's Day. They lost to Kentucky in a buzzer beater. I say a buzzer beater because they had 0.5 seconds left after that shot that they had to get half a second back to not do shit. You get embarrassed, you get upset by Kentucky, even though this was a top 15 matchup or top 20 matchup. I don't even remember where Kentucky was ranked at the time. You fall by 2 points to Kentucky at home, and your only star player in this game was Michaela Williams. She led in everything in this game. She led in points with 26, 9 for 17 in field goals, 5 for 6 in free throw shooting. She led in rebounds with 8, and she led in assists with 5, and she had 2 turnovers. She led in everything in this whole game. And then to make matters worse, your first SEC road game, you go to Nashville to play Vanderbilt, who was also ranked, a 12 team. So you lost to 11 and 12 in a row. And now you dropped 12. You fall to Vanderbilt 65-61. Elijah Fulwiley led in that game with 13 points. 6 for 13 in field goals, 1 for 4 in free throw shooting. She also led in assists with 6. Ended the night with 5 turnovers, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block. Kate Cavall led in rebounds with 10. She also had 9 points and 2 turnovers. Plus, Michaela Williams had 12 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 turnovers. And Sakia Johnson had 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 turnovers. It's time to play ball, ladies. Y'all are the laughing stock right now in college basketball. All the ass kicking y'all been given throughout the season, y'all can't even hang on y'all's level. I would not be surprised you lose your next one. You go to Georgia, who's 15-1. Georgia's probably the favorite. And then, well, that's the only. No, I take that back. They got this and one more. This is your only chance to win this weekend. Well, you play tomorrow night against Georgia. You're not winning this weekend. If you could not beat Vanderbilt and Kentucky, I do not see y'all beating Texas at home. The number 2 team in the country, 17-0, a team that beat South Carolina. I don't even think you can beat South Carolina. I don't think you can beat Oklahoma either. And I don't think you can beat South Carolina. I don't know until y'all drop them phones, get off of TikTok, get off of Instagram, quit living in the past. Put that championship drought shit aside that y'all won in 2023. Try and win one in 2026. Because y'all have not impressed me one bit since y'all went into SEC play. Kim Mulkey is about to light a fire in my ass if y'all don't step up and kick ass. But don't get me started with Matt McMahon himself. That LSU team, oh my God, dude. But that's what Kim Mulkey's Tigers got next. At Georgia tomorrow night. And they're back at the PMAC Sunday against the number 2 team in the country in Texas. Meanwhile, Matt McMahon's Tigers go into SEC play, and they lose 2 in a row. They fought it. 2 games. I didn't really watch South Carolina. They should have beat A&M. They fought at A&M 75-72. Mike Nowako, 21 points, 7 for 10 in field goals and free throws. Plus, he had 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers. But Pablo Tamba led in rebounds with 11. He also had 6 points, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 5 blocks. Jalen Reese led in assists with 7, with 3 turnovers and 4 points. And Max McKinnon had 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 turnovers, and 2 steals against the Aggies. Then they're back at home against South Carolina last night, and they lose 78-68 to the Gamecocks. Max McKinnon, 15 points, 6 for 14 in field goals. Mike Nowako led in rebounds with 13, and he had 6 points. Jalen Reese led in assists with 6, with 3 turnovers and 2 points. Pablo Tamba with 10 points and 5 rebounds in this game. Because of them, I've never been more ready for baseball, and I'm slowly still counting down the days until the Lane Kiffin season officially kicks off. Before I can get to some positivity on LSU real quick, let me just say what's next for LSU basketball. They go to Vanderbilt Saturday to play an undefeated Vanderbilt team that's number 11 in the country. You can watch it at noon on the SEC network. That's actually the only game they got. But next live stream, which I have planned recording on January 14th, they'll be playing Kentucky, which the game will probably be over by the time I go live. So I'll have a review on that one as well. Both basketball teams need to get their head out of their ass and start winning. Meanwhile, with all the shit going on in the football world, like I guess everyone's tired of hearing about LSU and Ole Miss going back and forth with all the drama. Ole Miss coaches opting out to go to LSU, not finishing coaching the playoff game, going into the semifinals, or Lane Kiffin taking coaches and shit. But they're talking about that transfer portal, and I got some updates myself, so let's see how this goes a bit, because I feel like this might take most of the show here. I had a list of like a number of LSU players in the transfer portal, but I can tell you who they all picked up so far and who they got coming up. So I should have had this ready. Like I had the list of like big players, like for example, they announced it today. Michael Van Buren Jr. entered the transfer portal. He already made his announcement. He's going to South Florida. Juwan Johnson is going in the transfer portal, but I think he's going to Ole Miss. If he goes to Ole Miss, then he'll be the second Lafayette Christian Knight to go to Ole Miss along like Sage Ryan. Like there's a list of, all right, so yeah, here I got the list right here. So we already know where Michael Van Buren is heading. Caden Durham entered the transfer portal. JT Lindsay. I'm not naming everybody. I'm gonna name like big names people know. Kyle Parker, Austin Osbury, Juwan Johnson, Paul Mubenga, DJ Chester, Caleb Jackson, Colin Hurley, Ahmad Bro, Ashton Stamps, and Sidner Mitchell are just a few names that have all entered the transfer portal, leaving LSU. We already know where one went. We already know Michael Van Buren's going to South Florida, which he started at Mississippi State, then came to LSU. Before I tell you who we got so far, I tell you who I really, really wish we'd have got, but it's over. You want to talk about one of the top, when it comes to quarterbacks, the number one quarterback that entered the transfer portal. I know LSU was looking at him. Brendan Sorsby from Cincinnati. He's going to Texas Tech, but it's not the biggest loss for LSU. They got some other good quarterbacks on the board they're looking at. But I'll tell you, like, how good Brendan Sorsby is. Last season, he had over 2,800 passing yards and 27 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions with Cincinnati. Plus, he started his career with Indiana, so this ain't his first trip in the transfer portal. He was a red shirt at Indiana, but then he 2 seasons there, then went to Cincinnati, played 2 seasons there, and now he's going to finish his career at Texas Tech. This guy's a beast. I mean, let's talk about in rushing. He had over 100 carries for 580 rushing yards in his last season at Cincinnati. Like, this dude was a beast. I know quarterbacks are looking at right now. I know they brought up Sam Leviett from Arizona State, which he's one of the top prospects. And the last time I recall, they picked up a quarterback from Arizona State. He became a Heisman Trophy winner, and I'm talking about Jaden Daniels. But Sam Leviett, I know he had over 1,600 passing yards last year with Arizona State, plus 10 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. And he started his career at Michigan State, but got his numbers up at Arizona State. I also know in rushing, he had 73 carries for 308 yards and 5 rushing touchdowns with the Sun Devils, where the year before that, he had 110 carries for 443 total rushing yards. So probably his sophomore year was a little more better at rushing, but passing, he was killing it there. But here's what I believe they can pick up when it comes to quarterbacks. There's one guy in the transfer portal. This might be the second highest quarterback available, but he's under no contact because I think we all know where he's going to end up. Damon Williams from Washington. I think this is a lock-in. I think he's coming to LSU. And if he comes, holy crap, that's going to be huge. And someone mentioned to me could be a Heisman candidate. I mean, he had over 3,000 passing yards with Washington last year, 25 touchdowns, even though he only had 8 interceptions. That's good numbers compared to what he had in his freshman year at Washington. This quarterback's only a sophomore, so he's eligible to play 2 years at LSU if he comes. He's got 2 years with us. In rushing, I know last season he had 143 carries for 611 yards and 6 rushing touchdowns. I hope we get this guy. This is going to be huge if we get him. Now, if you want to talk about what Lane Kiffin's picked up so far in the transfer portal, holy shit. You want to talk about some big names? How about them wide receiver categories? Jackson Harris from Hawaii. They went all the way to the islands and got him, who had 963 total yards and 12 touchdowns on 49 receptions last year with Hawaii. Also on the receiving end, they picked up Trey Brown from Old Dominion, who had 38 receptions for 762 yards. This one I really love. Jace Brown from Kansas State. Played all 3 years at Kansas State, but he's going to wants to finish his senior year at LSU. 115 receptions, over 2,000 receiving yards last year, and 14 touchdowns. That is a lot. Holy crap. Like, that is a big pick, and I freaking love that. Getting Jace Brown. And then you want to top it off there, Eugene Wilson from Florida. They just picked him up. He had 107 receptions and over 1,000 receiving yards and 10 touchdowns at Florida. Big numbers there. Who else they picked up in the transfer portal? Rasheen Guillory from Utah, who was just a redshirt freshman, so he really did not see the field at Utah, but he could see the field at LSU. But they also picked up another running back, Rod Gainey Jr. out of Charlotte, who last season he had 74 carries for 260 yards and a touchdown with Charlotte. I know that's not a lot of numbers, but hey, it's a good start for LSU to call him up and say, hey, we want you to come to Baton Rouge. Malachi Thomas from Pitt at tight end. This is another one I like. 13 receptions with Pitt, 192 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also on defense, they picked up Ty Benfield from Boise State, who 105 tackles and 5 interceptions with the Broncos last season. And defensive 4-star defensive lineman if I'm saying his name right, Stephilian Green from Clemson. He had 25 tackles last season. So that's just a few names that Lane Kiffin already picked up so far in the transfer portal. This is still going to go on. Who are they going to get next? And believe me, if we get Damon, oh, you're going to hear it from me next week. We get Damon Williams, oh, you'll hear it from me, and I'm going to be excited. I'm going to be 1-2 boogie Shorty George, huh? Oh, yeah, that's going to be
Give me 1-2 boogie and Shorty George. Shorty George.
That will be me if we pick him up. But that's about all the update I got for you so far with LSU and the transfer portal. But let's go ahead and keep this ball rolling. Let's go ahead and take it to the 504. Let's do some New Orleans talk, shall we? Let's go. All right, now that we're in the New Orleans talk, in the 504, let's just go ahead and just say farewell to the New Orleans Saints ending their regular season. Even though they did not get that win streak we wanted, they fall short to the Atlanta Falcons 19-17, which wraps up their 2025 season with 6 wins and 11 losses. But let's talk some numbers in this game real quick. 340 total yards, 232 passing, 108 total rushing. Tyler Shuck, 23 for 35, 259 passing yards, 1 touchdown to Ronnie Bell for 16 yards. He did throw an interception. He also had 3 carries for 34 yards and a rushing touchdown. But Audric Estime led in rushing, 21 carries for 63 yards. Evan Hall had 2 carries for 11 yards, but those were the only 3 guys that ran the ball. Where on the receiving end, Jawan Johnson, 3 catches for 61 yards. And Dante Pettis, I feel like this is the only time I'm going to be able to play this clip. 60 receiving yards on 5 catches. I had to play it because that's like the only time I'm ever play this clip tonight. But defense, 67 total tackles, 37 solo, 4 sacks, and 9 tackles for a loss. Typical rivalry game, but unfortunately they did not get it done. And they were unable to win 5 in a row. And I would have had that clip ready if they'd have won 5 in a row. But that will recap the season. But we're feeling positive about this because we said after how they finished strong, I still thought they finished strong. It could have been a lot worse. They could have not have won 4 games in a row. But they did. It was nice to having that little 4-win streak with Tyler Shuck behind center. We found our quarterback, but let's go ahead and get ready for the offseason. Let's get ready to see how 2026 is going to go. I know the draft's coming up. I've been preaching they needed to draft a damn running back, but why do I feel like they're going to draft like a defensive lineman in the first round? I mean, they do need a defensive player coming, but I'm staying positive that this team is going to be a much better team than they were this past season. But what's next for the New Orleans Saints? Well, go ahead, and this will be my final thing. I'm going to talk Saints for a little while until possibly the NFL draft. But just like the Texans, they've also announced their opponents for 2026. And just like the Houston Texans, the Saints are also going to be playing the AFC North, playing the Browns, the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Bengals. They're also going to be playing the NFC North, which means they're going to play the Packers, the Vikings, the Bears, and the Lions. Interconference opponents, they're also going to be playing the Las Vegas Raiders, and they're going to play the New York Giants. Now, they will have there is an extra game in there. They're also going to play the Arizona Cardinals. Now, one thing might change. They added an extra home game because I don't know if they changed it or not, but yes, it's been confirmed the Saints are going to play a home game in Paris. They're going to play the first NFL game in Paris, but there were rumors it might be moved to 2027 due to some renovations to the stadium they're going to host it at. I think it's PSG that was going to host that Saints NFL game in Paris against whoever. I'll definitely keep you posted on that, but no, if it's not going to be this year, it'll be next year. The Saints are going to play the first NFL game in Paris, which suits right with French culture, the Catholic religious culture, and the fleur-de-lis and everything. It's going to be beautiful. But whether if it's in Paris or not, here's who they got at home this year for their 2026 matchups. Got your division rivals, Falcons, Panthers, Buccaneers. From the NFC North, they're going to host Green Bay in the Dome and the Minnesota Vikings. From the AFC North, they're going to host the Browns and the Steelers, and then two bonus interconference opponents, the Cardinals and the Raiders. Meanwhile, on the road, Saints are going to be in Atlanta, in Carolina, and in Tampa Bay against division rivals. They will, in the AFC North, they will go to Baltimore to play the Ravens, and they will go to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. While on the NFC North side, they will go to Chicago to play the Bears, and they will go to Detroit to play the Lions. And for a bonus road game, they will also go to MetLife to play the New York Giants. I like these matchups. Hopefully, one of these can be prime time or two. But looking at them home games, man, that's a good choice. It's a hard one to decide if I'm planning to go to a home game in 2026. Because I see 4 games I would love to see. First off, I've never seen them play Tampa Bay. The only division rival I've never seen them play. That's one on the list. Green Bay Packers, a team I grew up on. That'd be a dream matchup to see them play. I wouldn't mind them go watch them play the Steelers, which I've been told I've saw them play the Steelers as a kid. But I see 2 games on here I can definitely see as wins I'm going to keep my eye out on. The Raiders and the Browns. That's like 2 games I can guarantee a win there that I'm going to shoot for first. If one of them ends up being at the end of the season as their final home game, then I'm going to go to that one if it's around Christmas. Other than that, if they're cheap enough, I'm going to try and go. That's 2 I'm going to target first. The Las Vegas Raiders or the Cleveland Browns as my next home game to attend in 2026. because, like I said, I had so much fun at that Jets game. First Saints game I've been to in 3 years. I need to go to more. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the New Orleans talk before I get into some other stuff around the area and predictions and whatnot. So here we're going to close out my New Orleans talk, talking the New Orleans Pelicans, because it's time to take flight. Well, I can tell you what, the New Orleans Pelicans are not really flying anywhere because they are currently now you could say they're on a 9-game losing streak. I had 8 typed up, but they just played a game before I went live, and now they're currently on a 9-game losing streak. And I'm just going to keep this short and sweet because I really don't have much to say about this team now. But they haven't won a game since December 22nd of 2025. Since last stream, you played the Miami Heat in Miami. You fall 125-106. Trey Murphy led in points with 27, and he led in rebounds with 8. Jordan Poole led in assists with 8. He also had 8 points and 3 turnovers. Zion's been playing every game now. He's back, but they still can't win. But against the Miami Heat, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 turnovers. Jeremiah Fierce, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 turnovers. And Derek Queen, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 5 turnovers. But that wasn't their first game of the new year. I forgot to add this one. Their first game of the new year was actually against the Portland Trailblazers, where they beat them 122-109. So in their first start of the new year, Zion led in this game with 35 points. Kevon Looney led in rebounds with 12, and Jordan Poole led in assists with 6. Zion also had 8 rebounds and 2 assists. Kevin Looney had 4 points. Jordan Poole had 16 points. Jeremiah Fierce, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 turnovers. Last night, they hosted the Lakers, a team they should have beat. They had this game in the bag, but they made some errors towards the end, and they fell 111-103. Trey Murphy led with 42 points. Derek Queen led in rebounds and assists with 13 rebounds and 8 assists, plus 4 turnovers. Zion had 15 points in that game with 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 turnovers. And then tonight they fell to the Atlanta Hawks 117-100. So now that puts the Pelicans at 8-31. Zion led in this game with 22 points, plus 6 assists with 3 turnovers. Derek Queen led in rebounds with 10 rebounds. Let's see what else. Who else had some numbers here? Jordan Poole had 21 points. Jeremiah Fierce had 11. Derek Queen had 6. Matovic had 2. Oh, man, Matovic had only 2 points. Jesus Christ. This team can score, but they can't play defense worth a shit. And I feel like it's not going to get any better for them. What's that? I mean, they got a chance to win Friday night. They go to D.C. to play the Wizards on Friday. Sunday, they go to Orlando to play the Magic. And then they're back at home Tuesday night against the Nuggets and Wednesday night against the Brooklyn Nets. Their next, if you want to say a 6 game as a bonus, next Friday they go to Indiana. So in their next 5 games, I can only see them winning 2 out of 5. Maybe 3. If they can play their cards right, they can beat Washington. I don't think they're going to beat the Magic. They're definitely not beating the Nuggets. They could possibly beat the Brooklyn Nets at home. Indiana, this is like a battle for last place. They better beat the Pacers. Pacers don't have Tyrese Halliburton. You got your star player. You should beat this team. I want to see where this team is right now. And we already know they're last in their division. They're last in the Western Conference. But in the league, they are second to last. So, yeah, they're going to be playing the Pacers for last place. They both have currently 31 losses, but we have 2 more wins over them while they only have 6. Well, the only update I can give you on basketball, it's only the second period. The Rockets are trailing 44-40. So you won't hear an update about this game until next week's show. But I'll kind of do a double recap with the Trailblazers there. But that's all the New Orleans talk I got. We're going to talk about we're going to do some recaps and predictions. Here. I got something I want to bring up. I don't talk hockey a lot on this show, but the Winter Classic, you really did it in freaking Miami? I'm shocked the ice didn't melt in Miami. I miss watching the Winter Classic where it's freaking snow and it's below freezing. Well, we're going to get that in 2027 because they just announced Salt Lake City is hosting the 2027 Winter Classic at University of Utah's football stadium. So that means the Mammoth is hosting the Winter Classic. That's going to be beautiful. Seeing the Rocky Mountains in the background, holy, that's going to be badass. You want a good Winter Classic? What? I mean, they wanted Quebec to host one. I think in Montreal. They wanted Toronto to host it at Rogers Center with the roof open. That would have been another good idea. But hey, I like it that you're going to do it in Salt Lake City next year, and you got the Rocky Mountains in the background instead of sand and whatnot. Well, you did it in a baseball park with the roof open, fake snow, 67 degrees. Now, if it was 6 degrees, yeah. But Winter Classic's fun to watch. I love when they're outdoors in the freezing cold, but they made a big mistake doing it in Miami. I feel like if your city is not cold enough to host, like Dallas and Nashville are safe. Being southern cities, it gets really cold in both them cities. And sure enough, both them cities get snow. A lot of North Texas gets snow. So they were smart letting them host it. But like Florida, come on, man. I don't think they've ever freaking seen snow in their life. I don't think it ever snowed in Miami. I'd be shocked if it did. I know Jacksonville got some snow last year, but we're not talking Jacksonville. But that was my little rant about the Winter Classic. Like, keep it in colder cities and colder environments. All right. Well, all I got left to do is predictions and recaps. So let's go talk about my shitty bowl mania. Right. All the bowl games are done. I mean, that's non-playoff is officially over. So let's do the final bowl mania recap with all we got left is the playoffs of the national championship. So bowl games I'm going to be bringing up were between New Year's Eve and January 2nd. Let me get the scores up too. I can't wait to get a full record. I'm gonna post that towards the end of after the Natties all that done. I need to see the records of these conferences because I tell you who's not dominating bowl mania this year is the SEC. Hell to the no. So let's go to the Rely Quest Bowl. We'll start there. Iowa, I keep saying Iowa. Iowa beat Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt. They beat them 34-27. Tony the Tiger's Sun Bowl. Another one I lost. I picked Arizona State. Duke wins this game 42-39. They said this was one of the best bowl games. I beg to differ. It might be maybe one of the top 3 bowl matchups. But that Pop-Tarts Bowl, the Alamo Bowl, you could throw this one in there too. That's probably maybe the top 3 bowl games so far. The Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, I picked Texas. They got it done. They beat Michigan 41-27, and Arch Manning, dressed like a king. He sat on that Cheez-It throne. I like the little Cheez-It dragon they put on the field too. The SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl, Utah beat Nebraska 44-22. Now let's get to the quarterfinals. And, man, let me tell you, this was one of the most historic quarterfinals I've ever seen. It started with the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Miami put a belt to ass. Well, I would put a belt to ass, but they whooped the ass. They took down to the defending national champions, Ohio State, 24-14. Loved it. We go to New Year's Day. The Capital One Orange Bowl did not see this coming. Oregon shuts out Texas Tech. 23-0. No one saw that coming. Neither did I. This was a belt to fucking ass, folks. Indiana beat Alabama 38-3 in the Rose Bowl. And Nipple Mania was running wild in this house. This just shows Alabama's no longer going to be an it factor in the future, especially as long as you got Kalen DeBoer as head coach. There is so much drama in Tuscaloosa right now. They all want Kalen DeBoer fired. They all think he's going to get fired and they're going to steal Lane Kiffin from us. And let me just say.
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
Now, isn't that a load of horseshit?
And all this time I've been going through such pain and personal anguish. Such hell for nothing.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes. No.
No?
Sir. Well, it was fun.
Not anymore, though, is it? Is it?
No, not by
No, it's not fun anymore.
No.
Not even a little bit.
No.
Make up your mind.
No.
Think. Since you're thinking now, go on, think.
No,
Is
no.
it fun?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Absolutely not?
Zero fun, sir.
All right. Let's.
I hit that one too quick. That was my take of how Alabama is enjoying football. But here's what I got for Indiana's belt to ass to Alabama here.
If you answer me when I ask you, who is your daddy? Who's your daddy, Gary? Who's your daddy? You. Uh-huh. And whose team is this? Is this your team? Or is this your daddy's team? Yours. Mm-hmm.
Seeing Alabama fans cry the whole time about what's their future right now, and ever since you can blame the NIL. If the NIL wouldn't be what it is right now, you would probably still have Nick Saban. But what did that do to y'all?
They rip your heart out of your ass.
I love them crying. Now they know they ain't big bad wolf anymore. Speaking of that, Ty Simpson already declared the NFL draft, so they're going to lose their quarterback. They're losing a lot of players in the transfer portal. I'm still waiting to hear it. Is Ryan Williams going to the transfer portal or not? But you think they're going to find some good players to want to go play for them and Kalen DeBoer?
We ain't found shit.
They ain't going to find shit because
they don't know what the fuck they're doing. You understand that?
But why do I care? I'm going to say this to them like I'm going to be treating Ole Miss.
Off is a direction you can fuck.
But belt to ass, Indiana beat Alabama 38-3. Now, this was a hell of a game with a crazy-ass finish, but Georgia fall to Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl 39-34. So 3 previous national champions we've had within the last 5 years are out. Ohio State's out, Alabama's out, Georgia's out. Holy crap. And we're guaranteed a new national champion. Get back.
Get back!
Oh, let me move this on before I get some more random talk to Ole Miss. But on Friday, this was the final day of bowl games, not playoff related. Rice and Texas State, Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. Texas State beat Rice 41-10. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Navy beat Cincinnati 35-13. The Trust and Will Holiday Bowl, I picked Arizona, but SMU beat them 24-19. Okay, the Duke's Mayo Bowl. This is where I blow the whistle.
Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
One of the most dumbest celebrations ever. If I were a coach and I got selected to be in this bowl game, I would immediately decline. Because the last thing I would need is a fucking mayonnaise bath on national television. But Wake Forest head coach got it because he beat Mississippi State 43-29. Who wants a fucking mayonnaise bath? And to wrap up the recap, want to talk about a national championship. This was a fucking banger. congratulations to Montana State winning the FCS National Championship or the Division I National Championship, whatever you want to call it. I think it was 35-34. It was Monday night. They went into overtime. They said it was the first ever FCS game, that championship game that went into overtime. Yeah, they won 35-34. A player whose name is Taco. Hell yes, caught the winning touchdown that tied the game up, where all they needed was a chip extra point to win it, and they got it. I love tacos. Yum, yum, eat 'em up.
Yum, yum, eat 'em up. Yum, yum, eat 'em up.
Imagine if that would have happened on a Tuesday night. Taco Tuesday, baby. But congratulations, Montana State wins their second national championship. Illinois State, hey, keep them heads up, boys. Y'all had a magical run in the playoffs. Y'all took out North Dakota State to make it this far, and I believe Illinois State will one day be national champions in the FCS or Division I level. But that was a great game. Congrats to the Bobcats. It's been a long time coming. They deserved it, but that was a fun game to watch. Now, we only got 2 college games left. We're down to the Final Four. So one of these 4 is going to be your new national champions. Probably only one has had a history of national championships. Let's kind of review this, shall we? First, you got the Miami Hurricanes, 5-time national champions. But are you going to pull an Auburn and say you're 10-time, even though you've unclaimed 5 of those? Your last national title was 2001. Ole Miss, I want to believe, don't have any. But they're going to say, you can't count your SEC. You have 3 claimed national championships. You claim you've won in 59, 60, and 62, but I don't recall that. Let's see here. 1959, who was the real national champions here? Syracuse was the real national champions, not Ole Miss. 1960, the real national champions. Well, they're going to say Minnesota won the national, but Ole Miss had a better record. I don't know. In 1962, Ohio State. Oh, no, USC was claimed the national champions of 1962, not Ole Miss. You'll be lucky if you claim one. You know what? I'll give you one. Fuck you. I'll give you one. Oregon, we know, don't have shit. If you wanted to count fashion as a national championship, they would be the Alabama. But no. 2020, no, hell to the no. Hold up. I'm blowing the whistle again on this.
Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
You did not win the national championship you didn't win it last year. Ohio State won it. Unfortunately, how are you going to fucking claim that shit? The team that eliminated you in the freaking Rose Bowl. Boy, I thought UCF was bad and Auburn was bad at claiming national championships. You claimed last year. Get the fuck out of here. This is for y'all.
There is no passion, there is no vision, there is no aggression, there is no fucking mindset in this football club. Nothing is there. What the hell is there in this football club? Tell me now.
Now, Indiana, they don't have no national championships, but they're the only ones that's not claiming shit. They just got 3 Big Ten titles. But they're the favorite to win one. And let me just be honest with you, real talk. I hope they win it all this year. That's my pick to win it all. I love Fernando Mendoza. I love his story. This team came a long way. They went to the playoffs a year ago. Didn't get past the first round against Notre Dame, but man, They just need 2 more wins, and then they finally won it on their own. Let's predict this right now. We're down to the college football playoff semifinals, 2 games, and it starts tomorrow night. We got the Verbal Fiesta Bowl in Glendale, Arizona. It's the Miami Hurricanes versus the Ole Miss Rebels. ACC versus SEC. This one's a toss-up. This one can go either way. I know a lot of people's rooting for Miami, a lot's rooting for Ole Miss, but this guy is rooting for the U. Fuck Ole Miss. Y'all are our new heated Alabama. Fuck y'all. Give me Miami. And then lastly, this will be Friday night. All Big Ten matchup. A rematch too, by the way. Oregon and Indiana. Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl in Atlanta. I know it's hard to beat a team twice. Indiana beat Oregon earlier in the season when College Game Day went to Eugene. I think that was like week 4 or week 5. But what we saw them now, both these teams dominated in the quarterfinals. Oregon shut out Texas Tech. Indiana put a belt to ass on Alabama. But you want to go with the team that put belt to ass on a dynasty team. I'm going with the Hoosiers. The best offensive line in the country. One of the top defenses in the country. You got a Heisman quarterback. You got a coach that don't smile. I'm riding with the Hoosiers. I'm going with Indiana. So that's my national championship prediction. Indiana, Miami, in Miami. By the way, the national championship's in Miami. But I'm still riding with Indiana to win it all. They deserve. But hey, if Miami wins it, cool. I don't want Oregon or Ole Miss in the national championship or even win it all. I don't think I have to worry about Oregon. I'm a little worried about Ole Miss. But Ole Miss, they can't keep Lane Kiffin and LSU out of their mouths. I wouldn't be surprised they get distracted and lose that, and they want to blame that on us too. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's recap the final week of the regular season for the NFL. A little dramatic. Start with the first Saturday game. Tampa Bay beat the Carolina Panthers. But since the Saints lost to the Falcons, the Panthers clinched the division. Tampa Bay's not in the playoffs. So that win meant nothing to Tampa Bay. Seahawks 49ers. This was my game of the week for a reason. Seahawks clinched the number 1 seed in the NFC. Colts Texans. I knew that was belt to ass there. Giants Cowboys meant nothing, but Giants beat the Cowboys. Battle of Ohio went to the Cleveland Browns. Vikings get the last call win over the Packers. Jaguars put belt to ass on the Tennessee Titans to win the AFC South. Broncos put belt to ass on the Chargers, giving the Broncos the number 1 seed in the AFC, but Justin Herbert didn't play. Chiefs Raiders, it didn't get no more worse than that. Both your starting quarterbacks are out. By the way, coach is getting fired. Eagles beat Commanders beat the Eagles. Lions beat the Bears. Bills win their final game at the Ralph against the Jets before they move into their new home. Steelers beat the Ravens, and John Harbaugh is one of many coaches that got fired this week. Well, I know Pete Carroll got fired. Browns coach got fired. Lions offensive coordinator got fired. I want to pull this up. They're calling it Black Monday. I want to get this up. I want to make sure I get these right. All right. So, since the new year started, Brian Callahan was fired from the Titans. Brian DeBall was fired from the Giants. Raheem Morris was fired from the Falcons. That's another thing. You beat your arch rival and then you get fired the next day. Raheem Morris. Kevin Stefanski gets fired from the Browns. Pete Carroll gets fired from the Raiders. Jonathan Gannon gets fired from the Cardinals. This is head coaches. And John Harbaugh fired from the Ravens. Whoever the offensive coordinator was for the Lions, he got fired too. A lot of crazy shit going on, and we're already in wild card week. So we know with this new playoff rule, only the number 1 seeds get buys, so no 2 seeds. So that means only the Seahawks and the Broncos get first round buys. So we got two wild card matchups on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, and 1 Monday night matchup. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's pick these wild card games, and we're going to call it a night. It all begins Saturday afternoon. Rams at the Panthers, 3:30 p.m. on Fox. Carolina got lucky that they made this. So this was their first division title in 10 years and their first playoff appearance, I think, in 10 years. Yeah, it's not going to be a pretty I know they played earlier in the season and they beat the Rams, but they're not going to beat them a second time. Give me the Rams over the Panthers, unfortunately. Saturday night, this one's going to be a tricky one. This one's going to scare me the most. Packers, Bears, third meeting this season between these two heated rivals. They split it, but one's going to get a second win. Everyone's riding on the Bears because they're 11-6, and they haven't had a playoff. They haven't had a playoff experience, I think, since 2007. Green Bay, 9-7-1. But I'm taking a shot in the dark. I'm going with the Packers. Sunday, this one is a toss-up. Buffalo Bills, Jacksonville Jaguars. This could be a potential. You know what? This is going to be my game of the week for the wild card. Right here. Bills Jags is my game of the week. Right here. This can go either way. I know a lot of people are riding on Jacksonville. They're hot right now, but Josh Allen, this is like his last straw for a lot of people. You got no Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. You got no Joe Burrow in the playoffs. Who else? No Lamar Jackson. This is your shot to get a deep run or make a Super Bowl appearance. Because I feel like if he don't win this game, I don't see him ever winning a Super Bowl. He'll be the freaking Phillip Rivers of this generation. But, oh, man, if this were in Buffalo, I'd say the Bills win. But you know what? I think I'm just done playing games with Josh Allen. I think the Jaguars win this game. I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars, shockingly. 49ers, Eagles. I don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be, if Brock Purdy's going to play or not. But the Eagles defense, they're getting better. I need the 49ers to win, trying to win a Super Bowl pool that out here at home. But why do I feel like the Eagles are going to win this one? So I'm going, keep it between us. I'm going with the Eagles, unfortunately, to beat the San Francisco 49ers. Sunday night, this is going to be my toilet bowl of the week, even though he's back and playing. Chargers, Patriots. Yeah, Justin Herbert's going to play. But New England, I think they beat them bad. This might be a blowout. I'm going with the Patriots over the Chargers. And then we close out the wild card. We got the Houston Texans at the Pittsburgh Steelers. This one can go either way. But you know what? I'm riding with H-Town. This can be a historic win for them because they've never won a playoff game on the road. This would be a historic win for them. That defense is the reason why they're the number one defense in the AFC. But don't count on Aaron Rodgers. He got some receivers that can catch. But I'm going to – both defenses show up. But I think I said it was going to be a score fest. I was on Steel City Sports Talk earlier, and I said it could be a score fest. Even C.J. Stroud's going to throw past those DBs of the Steelers. I said 30-27. I might have over-exaggerated saying that. But I'm riding with the Texans to win and move on to the next round. And that's going to wrap up tonight's show. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. 2026, it's just the beginning. It's going to be a fun year talking sports on here. Even though football, it'll be soon wrapping up. And then we'll get into some baseball talk later in the year, more basketball. Well, the only football we'll have coming is the UFL, which they're supposed to announce their schedule reveal in a couple of weeks. So be on the lookout for that. But until then, I will catch y'all next Wednesday night, same time, same place, 9 p.m. Central on January 14th. I will catch y'all then. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. The weather is so diabolical. Don't want to be cold, don't want to be hot, but wash your hands, keep yourself protected and safe at all times from germs. The flu is just chaotic right now. But peace, love, I'm out. God bless. I'll catch y'all next week.